Welcome. I'm Sophronia Scott, Director of the Alma College MFA in Creative Writing for the 21st Century, and welcome to another Faculty Friday. This is your chance to get to know a bit about the amazing faculty mentors that we have in our MFA program, and today we have with us Benjamin Garcia. He is the author of the poetry collection Thrown in the Throat, and it was selected by Kazim Ali for the 2019 National Poetry Series. Benjamin works as a sexual health and harm reduction educator in the Finger Lakes region of New York. A son of Mexican immigrants, he received his BA from the University of New Mexico and his MFA from Cornell University. Benjamin had the honor of being a 2019 Lambda Literary Fellow, the 2018 Canto Mundo Fellow at the Palm Beach Poetry Festival, and the 2017 Latinx Scholar at the Frost Place Conference on Poetry. He is the winner of the 2018 Puerto del Sol Poetry Contest and the 2019 Julia Peterkin Flash Fiction Contest. His poems and essays are appearing everywhere, both now and forthcoming in publications such as Agni, American Poetry Review, Boston Review, Missouri Review, and Kenyon Review. Thank you for being with us today, Benjamin.
I'm glad to be here.
So today I'm thinking about writing advice, not necessarily tips, but I find that in teaching over the years that there are certain things that I find I say over and over again to students, and that they mark, I guess, what I really believe about writing. And I'm wondering what that might be for you. Like, what are some of the things you tend to say about writing?
I think I'm gonna quote one of my mentors here. So it's cheating a little bit. I'm using someone else's idea, but it's something that I have found incredibly helpful and that I return to. And it's from Alice Fulton, so a really fantastic poet. And she said that we imitate when we think we innovate, and we innovate when we think we imitate. And it's something that has stuck with me, first just because of the phrasing. I didn't understand it at first when I first heard we imitate when we think we innovate, and we innovate when we think we imitate. But it's something that I wanted to repeat myself. So in some ways it reminded me of like poetry. I could like what it sounded like before I understood what it meant. And then over time I started to see like, okay, I can like unpacking it for myself, we imitate when we think we innovate. So for me, that meant if I don't know, what traditions I'm writing in, if I don't have an understanding of what's happening in the poetic landscape now, but also, what movements have come before, that I might think that I'm doing something incredibly new and challenging and innovative. But someone else may have already done that. And that doesn't mean that I can't follow in that or add to it. But if I'm not aware of it, I might just be, repeating something really similar, or I can't complicate it anymore, because I'm starting from an earlier point when, if something already exists, right, I could take advantage of studying that and start at a different point. And so then the other part of that, of we innovate when we think we imitate, meant that we shouldn't be afraid of influences. I mean, I think that's part of how we learn is through others, through their work, and that we could try really hard to imitate a writer that we love, and you're never gonna be that writer, right? That writer is that writer. You are your own writer. So you can, I can try to write a poem in the voice of Sylvia Plath. I'm never going to write a Sylvia Plath poem, because I'm not Sylvia Plath. But what I can do is take a lot of those tools that I've learned from her work or other people's work and transfer it over onto my experience to what I want to say. And so I think that imitation is a really important part uh, of learning and exercising, writing muscles. Um, and then I think that the other component of that is like a fear of influence. Like I've noticed that sometimes, especially like as a younger writer, and then sometimes I see this with younger writers too, is sort of this fear of influence of, if I read too much of this one thing, then I'm going to start writing like this person or like this group of writers. And so for me, part of that is it's true that what we read influences us, and it's good to read widely and have various influences. But I don't think that I don't think of influence in the same way. I guess I think of influence as, I don't know, like teachers, right? So teachers influence you. When I read writers that I love, they do influence me in the sense that they teach me something. Their work is instructive. Um, and so in that way, I wouldn't be afraid of, influence, because again, if you are writing the poems that only you can write, if you are um, becoming more confident in your voice, if you're working toward that, um, I don't think that you can be lost in the influence of someone else, because you're chasing your own voice.
Yeah. I think, what I'm hearing from you sounds like the difference between writing by yourself in a void where you're essentially just talking to yourself, which, kind of like puts you in a space of like kind of chasing your own tail, versus understanding that you're part of a conversation. So instead of talking to yourself, it opens you up.
Exactly. And also, like, how lonely to think that you're just writing on your own.
Mm.
It makes it so much harder, versus understanding that being a writer is to be a part of a community, and that's helpful. Like I think, again, like instead of thinking of other writers as influences, in some ways they're like collaborators. They are helping me get to my work.
Yeah.
um,
Helping you see what's possible with the language. Yeah.
exactly.
All right. That's I'm gonna walk away with that, because I love thinking about possibility. Well, thank you for being with us here today, Benjamin. Thank you, the viewer, for joining us today for this Faculty Friday. I'm Sophronia Scott. He's Benjamin Garcia, and we are with the Alma College MFA in Creative Writing. To learn more about our program, check out our website, alma.edu/MFA, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.